Hey guys, this is just a little tutorial to help you figure out how to create your Excel graphs for your solubility curve you just did, the lab you just did. You'll end up creating a graph like this within Excel. Some of you guys were able to do only two different compounds, some were able to do three, and some groups were able to do four. Either way, you'll end up having to graph four, but I'll end up giving you that data. We'll actually use other student data for that from different classes. But you'll go ahead and create, if you did four different compounds in either way, you'll end up creating four different boxes like this. I just put the compound name up here, temperature in degrees Celsius, mass in grams, trial 1, trial 2. You'll have this for all four of them. This is the actual scientific data right here that I gave you on the graph previously, so this will be the same as what your previous Excel graph was. If you need that, I can give that back to you. Your trial 1, that was the first trial you did, you measured 4 grams, 5, and 6 for ammonium chloride. I changed it to 40, 50, and 60 because I'll let you know in class why. Those have to do with the ratios that you used. You just doubled everything by a multiple of 10. So at 4 grams or 40 grams, you were able to precipitate out at 25 degrees Celsius. At 50 grams, 57 degrees Celsius, 60, 72, and so on and so forth for trial 1 and trial 2. When you go to actually graph this, you have to highlight the x-axis first. So we'll go ahead and highlight the actual scientific data first. Once you have that highlighted, hold Control and then highlight the second column. The second column will end up going on the y-axis. I know my Excel is a little different. It's a newer version, but you should still be able to follow along. You'll end up going up to Insert and pick the scatter plot. It doesn't matter which one you do, so I'm going to pick this one. And it will plot the data for that first one. So it took me a few hours to figure out how to plot this trial 1 and trial 2 on the exact same graph. So I'll have to pay attention real specifically here. Right click on the actual graph that you have. And you don't want to do that. So right click on your actual graph. It'll go to Format Chart Area. Oh, nope, never mind. That was the wrong one. Sorry. Right click and go to Select Data. Apologize. Go to Select Data. First off, we're going to edit this first series and call it, actual scientific data. We'll press OK. And now you want to graph trial 1 and trial 2. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to click Add, and it'll ask you for the series name. If you just go ahead and type trial 1, and under the X value, that was the first thing you highlight. That's what goes on the X-axis, and since temperature is on the X-axis, we're going to go ahead and highlight just these three, and I'll end up putting it into here for the data. For the Y value, you'll have to delete whatever's in there. That doesn't matter, and highlight the Y value. So over here, it'll be your mass in grams. When you press OK, it'll graph your data on there. That orange line is trial 1. So you want to obviously do trial 2 as well. So you'll click Add, go to series name, trial 2, X values, you're going to highlight your X values, Y values, once again delete what was in there, highlight your Y values, and press OK. And make sure you press OK, because if you press cancel, it's all gone. So if you look at this, that is your graph. We'll go ahead and right click on it. You got to right click, not on the actual chart area, off it. And you go to Move Chart, New Sheet, and then you can just do it as chart 2, that's fine. So you'll press OK, and this is your actual chart. So it's obviously missing a few things. It's missing your labels on the side, it's missing your labels on the bottom, your X-axis. Some of these are a little difficult to see, so if you don't like the color of the lines, you can change that pretty easily. I'll go up here and I'll go to Change Colors. It'll give you a generic set if you wanted to pick a few of these, but this one kind of stands out to me. But what you'll do differently is right now you don't have a legend. Sometimes it'll delete the legend. So mine will be under Add Chart Element. It's under Design. Yours will be under there as well. So I'll click Add Chart Element. I'll go to Legend, and I'm going to go ahead and put mine at the bottom. So on the bottom I'll have the actual scientific data. Mine would be green. Trial 1 would be blue, and trial 2 would be this orangish yellow color. But right now it's a little bit more difficult because your actual scientific data marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different data points, whereas your actual data, you only did 3 separate measurements. So what you want to do is right click on your trial 1, specifically do trial 1 first. If you right click that and you go to add trend line, it'll ask you, it'll usually pops up on the side or an actual box in the middle. Click exponential, and then if you scroll down a little bit, scroll down a little bit where it says forecast forward and backwards, set both of those to 20. What it'll do is it'll add the line up to 20 places forward and behind, and then once you're done with that you can exit out. But if you can see on your graph, what it did was it just said, hey, if you were to continue this actual lab and you actually tested different amounts of mass, this would be your curve right here. You want to do the same thing for trial 2, add trend line, change it to exponential, and you'll end up going down and doing the exact same thing, changing your forward and backwards to 20. Now once that is done, you're pretty much done with your graph for that compound. You obviously need a chart title and axis titles and so on and so forth. So what I did was I actually made this preset. I actually made this ahead of time, and this is what mine looked like at the end. So I did ammonium chloride, solubility of ammonium chloride. I put the actual compound symbols in there. I increased the size of my axis so you can see it. I changed the axis title. It was nothing. I changed it to temperature in degrees Celsius. My y-axis, grams of solute and 100 milliliters of water. You guys measured 10 in the lab, but you multiply everything by a factor of 10. Your legend is down here. Actual scientific I have in black. Trial 1 was in green. Trial 2 was red. And I have the exponential curve saying if we were to complete this lab further, this is what we should have gotten. So everything is perfectly set. It's up to you what you wanted to do. What you can do for some bonus credit and stuff, whether you wanted to on your poster, add this table separately, or you can actually copy and paste it and add it right onto your actual graph, which I think would look pretty cool. But we'll go ahead and work on some of this stuff tomorrow. I'll definitely give you a few days to get this stuff going. I want to use a full day to talk about what actually happened in the lab and everything, go over that homework assignment that I gave you, and then we'll end up going from there. But by the end of the week, you'll end up having a quiz on this stuff. You can use your own charts to do it, but I want to have at least a day to go over what the heck this stuff even means, because you did the lab and it's time to kind of process and stuff. But I wanted you to make these charts so you can actually take your data that you actually made and produce something final out of it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Go Seahawks, and I hope they won. I'm recording this before the big game, so if they didn't win, I'll be pretty bummed out. So, all right, have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.